Smells Like Teen Spirit. Were there things that were more obvious in that album than others? Were there not statements? I hate talking about statements, but especially that first, sorry, that first song, that first statement, that first video.
What? Statement is like,
yeah.
Every month I get a bank statement, and I'm usually overdrawn. And
so we're not into making statements.
I don't know. There's can be statements can be made anywhere. You know, there's a lot to be said for subtleties. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
there's a lot to be said for being cryptic also.
Yeah.
Cryptic?
Yeah, mysterious.
So you can just like,
because we just can't explain ourselves. We don't consciously think about our music, so we can't explain it. Therefore, interviews are worthless. Let's go. What do you think about interviews?
Right. It's a pretty good magazine. Really
Did you hear my reaction when he asked me if I wanted to do one?
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, heck no.
We were an interview magazine right next to Shonen Knife. And you know who was on the cover? Mm-hmm. Matt Dillon.
Yeah, well, that's funny because, I mean, Cameron Crowe's doing No, but I mean, it's funny you talk about Cameron Crowe's doing a movie with Matt Dillon in Seattle, and there are many musicians, Seattle musicians in that movie. Are you part of it at all?
No part whatsoever.
No.
We opted not to delve in the
I saw
movie
Cotton
industry.
Candy, directed by Ron Howard. It was about this rock and roll band. And what was the evil rock and roll band name?
I don't know, is that the one with Leif Garrett in it?
Oh, that's
Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett. I've seen all these rock and roll movies, and it's always, you know, the star. There's either Leif Garrett in it or.
There's never been a really good documentary on rock and roll
Except
bands.
for Spinal Tap was the only rock movie worth watching.
Oh, and Don't Look Back by Bob Dylan.
That's true.
Have you seen that?
No.
Very, very good.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's old, made in 1964.
Makes a fool out of Donovan.
It's a rockumentary.
So I mean, were you approached? Were you asked to be part of that movie at all? No.
Anything, you know what I mean?
Oh no, they did ask us.
Really?
Yeah, they asked John.
Oh, I said no.
I said no before even asking you guys.
Oh.
That's because I'm the leader of the band.
You blew my chance, man. I'm gonna roll into Hollywood. I'm gonna have a star on Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm gonna have a big house with a swimming pool and all these cars, and I'm gonna get divorces and stuff. And I'm gonna have a big drug.
Max Baer, Jethro on TV's Beverly Hillbillies. Tell me about that. That Seattle thing everybody's been talking about. I mean, there's been that Manchester scene. There's that Seattle scene now. I mean, is it relevant at all? All scenes are relevant, but they all eventually phase into nothing, or they go away after
Or they
a while.
eventually become a parody of themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
They eventually become a parody of themselves.
people put too much emphasis on scenes. I mean, just because there happens to be a town with a few really good bands in it, I mean, big deal. It's happened all over the place, in Minneapolis and LA and New York, all over the place. So it's really no big deal. I don't understand this, like, community patriotism that everyone is boasting about in Seattle, because, like, they're claiming that they finally put Seattle on the map, but, like, what map?
Now the
Who
rents
cares?
are going up.
Yeah, everyone's moving to Seattle. I mean, we had Jimi Hendrix. Heck, what more do we want?
We went to his grave once, and there was a guitar picks and beer bottles all over it. Then we went to Bruce Lee's grave at like 1:30 in the morning. It's really wild. It was like in the Chinese part of the cemetery.
There were punji sticks and nunchucks laying all over the place.
We thought for sure there's these ninjas creeping behind these tombstones. We're like, whoa! But then again, the state of mind we were in at the time would be like,
But
turtles.
But do you feel that since everybody's been talking about Seattle, did you feel that it helped you in any ways getting that recording contract, or it has nothing to do with it?
It
might have. Yeah, I suppose it did.
We were in on.
We're grateful for it, I guess. What about that show? Why did you entitle the album Nevermind? I don't know. So I could brush off the question. Forget it. Doesn't matter.
Found it hard. It's hard.
Do you feel that radios may help you? Do you feel that the music might fit that mainstream thing everybody's talking about?
I think that people sort of get sucked into the single that we have out now with the melody of the song, and they don't realize it's so heavy because they're singing along to the song or whatever, but if you listen to it in a succession of songs, it's a lot heavier than most of the stuff that's on the radio.
Tell me about that Teen Spirit song, since it's the first video, first single. Did you have anything to do in elaborating it, doing it?
Thought of the whole idea. It was just our idea was to have a pep assembly scene that's gone bad. You know, it's gone bad.
Anything you've experienced before?
No, it was just more or less like a fantasy of ours for that to happen in high school while we're sitting at a pep assembly board off our skulls, you know. So after a while we resorted to skipping the pep assemblies, not going to them at all. But I don't know, it's just an idea.
What about Teen Spirit?
Well, I hate seeing all these just normal-looking teenagers. They dress like their parents, you know, and they have the same values, so it's like, it's kind of a shame.
Our parents are in control of the entertainment industry, and there's no generation gap anymore because the kids and the parents like the same music, and it's really frightening to us. So maybe that's what we tried to incorporate into the video. We were never seeking out a major label contract in the first place. It just happened. I don't know if it would have happened if we weren't on Sub Pop or not, but I don't know. It's just, we got a lot of press in Europe because of the Sub Pop scene. And it wasn't necessarily because John and Bruce were these mastermind guys, you know, getting a lot of interviews, like using their talents to get interviews. I mean, they were in ways, but also a lot of the journalists over in Europe happened to like the band, sincerely like them, so they wrote about them, you know. It wasn't as much of a hype as everyone thinks it was.
Tell me about that Seattle thing everybody's been talking about. I mean, there's been that Manchester scene, there's that Seattle scene now. I mean, is it relevant at all?
All scenes are relevant, but they all eventually phase into nothing, or, you know, they go away after
Or they
a while,
eventually
you know?
become a parody of themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
They eventually become a parody of themselves.
people put too much emphasis on scenes. I mean, just because there happens to be a town with a few really good bands in it, I mean, big deal. It's happened all over the place, in Minneapolis and LA and New York, all over the place. So it's really no big deal. I don't understand this, like, community patriotism that everyone is boasting about in Seattle, because, like, they're claiming that they finally put Seattle on the map, you know? But, like, what map?
Now the
Who
rents
cares?
are going up.
Yeah, everyone's moving to Seattle. I mean, we had Jimi Hendrix. Heck, what more do we want?
What about that show tonight? Is it different from one night to another? Or is it something you like, being on tour, or would you just like just stick by the recording studios and do some more songs?
Touring is
get to
wonderful.
travel and
Yeah, you get to eat on the road. You get to sit in a van
Play.
like this and like be jostled for like 8 hours a day.
You get free alcohol every night. Well, who can ask for more? It's a party every night. You go to
cauliflower like the last couple nights.
That's cream cheese.
Yeah, or like some sort of chive dip. It's been right on.
you got to keep solid if you're crogging down those beers, you know. So it's good to eat a lot of veggies and cheese and stuff, because
Fiber diet going.
I think my insides start to swell after a while, you know. It's just like not a very pleasant experience. Well, it's pleasant when I'm drunk, but like.
Thank you, guys.